That's the sweet sound of frigid air to help us make it through this Texas heat. But if you experience issues with your AC and are sweating inside of your own home, you need an honest and locally owned company to make those repairs. Now, I know of a place which is not only locally owned, but veteran owned too. Honest AC and Plumbing prides themselves on their handshakes and their quality of work. If you live in North Austin or in any of these northern suburbs of the ATX, give the boys at Honest a shout. Be sure to tell Floyd, Will, David, and the staff you're a loyal Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast viewer and follower.
Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I better not say you not a man.
That's it.
That was pretty intense. Man, this guy deserves what you call was a special open like that. Tahj Brooks, Texas Tech. It's hard to believe I'm going to call you a junior running back at Texas Tech. Has it dawned on you, or is this a lesson that, man, life really passes by that quickly?
It came up on me a little fast than I thought it was. I'm already looking at my third year in college. I just remember scoring my first touchdown on varsity as a freshman 4 years ago. So it's coming fast, but it's been fun. It's been a blessing. So
I remember your first touchdown, to be honest with you. Yeah. Tahj Brooks, a product of Manor, Texas, here in the Austin area. If you're watching from other parts of the country, of course, people in the state of Texas are aware where Manor, Texas is, just to the east of Austin. This guy, and we're going to dive into it because I'm going to go ahead and say he's one of the top three running backs in the Big 12. And by the way, this episode, as you saw at the top of the show there, sponsored by Honest AC and Plumbing. Man, we have had way too many triple-digit days of heat, but we're from Texas, Tahj. We're used to that, right?
I'm already know. For sure. I'm already knowing. I already know my people call me. It's been over 100 every day. No, so
that's insane. But if you're in the northern half, even in Manor, these guys call Honest AC and Plumbing. And the plumbing is where they say that they're having some more issues. I wouldn't have guessed that, but these guys will take care of you. One thing that I want to start out with, Tahj, and it's a Manor thing. The whole slogan right here, you see WAMM Nation. I know it's we are Manor Mustangs, but what goes behind all? There's much more to that than everybody knows, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm gonna explain from when I was in school, and then I'm gonna explain for the guys that's there now. But we are WAMM Nation is basically like a brotherhood, and just really things grinding together, working hard together in the weight room, and then putting knowledge out on the field, and just becoming one as a whole family. That's gonna be a family for life. So even when you go home, leave for college, I still link up with the guys that I play high school ball with. So that's what we are Manor Mustangs really just means.
It's such a strong, it's like a family fraternity, and you see it with moms, grandmas, aunts, uncles, everybody just WAMM, and the hashtag is it's something I noticed because I left Austin for a while after high school, and I came back back in the media days, and I kept asking, what is WAMM? What does that mean? And so that pretty much sums it up. I know Sad Jackson really got the program back going, and there was a line of coaches you were a part of that were, I think you went to the state quarterfinals. That was your junior or senior year, right?
That was my senior year. My junior, that's when we beat Dripping Springs, and then we beat Jupiter Springs, and then we had to go play Foster. And we lost to Foster by like 14 points or something like that.
The Shadow Creek squad, I remember they were just loaded.
No, they were loaded, but I feel like it's just, we could have done it more.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show everyone. So Tahj had an injury last year, and I'm not one that to make excuses, but if he was healthy, I think you would be talking about him more than in the preseason. But we all know preseason means absolutely nothing. I think you and I just kind of, I think you and I are in the same boat. When I see preseason polls, preseason All-American, preseason watch list, you just kind of smile like that's going to change significantly by mid-season at least.
No, yeah.
This is something I created. Don't sleep on this guy. So we go back to your high school numbers. I know they're not a direct factor right now with where you are at Tech, but I want people to know what type of running back you are and you were. I mean, the numbers alone. You played as a freshman on varsity, if I remember correctly. And then Texas Tech, first 2 seasons with limited carries. I mean, that's pretty solid production for the amount of carries you've had. And we'll see a video later of you taking one to the house against my alma mater. And I've forgiven you for it, by the way.
It was a close game, and then we was in halftime. Our coach they were in their heads because that whole week a lot of big schools are getting. Yeah, it was close games where they were getting beat to like FCS schools.
Yeah.
And that's what really made us like, oh yeah, we gotta win this thing, we gotta win it out. Because can't be that one big school that's on the news or that's online getting punished by FCS schools.
So for those who aren't aware, how would you describe yourself as not just a work ethic, but the type of running back you are in the system that Tech now runs? And we'll get to your new head coach here shortly.
I'll say really just all back. I can catch the ball, I can block, I can get extra yards, I can do the dirty work, I can do stuff like that. But really just in this new offense, Achilles more of a mind thinker. So he's gonna get you the ball wherever it be one-on-one in space or maybe in the inside game or the power game, such things as that. So really just focus on getting everyone the ball. And then as a running back in his system, he loves it. He loves talking to us, be like, what do y'all think about this and stuff like that. So that's one thing I really like about it.
No, I love to hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll remove this graphic, but I'm going to go ahead and make a statement here. I mean, it's, I know things can change, but when you look at Big 12 running backs, you've got Bijan at Texas. You've got a long list, and then Deuce Vaughn at Kansas State. In my opinion, even though he was All-American, I think that the guy's still he's underrated.
Yeah.
And then there's you.
I feel like that too. Just really, I feel like just based on where we come from. Like we both from Austin. So they already thinking it's some underrated that Austin has no talent. So I'm just saying just things like that. So really just putting on for that for 512. So that's what I'm just really.
I love it. Love to hear it, man. Hey, people have been underestimating 512 talent forever. I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Because I just say coaches think we're just everything's given. We don't have to work. Like we don't be working. Like even that's what I heard from a lot of like growing up, like a lot of college coaches. They be like Austin, they don't really have any good quality kids that don't work or that aren't gritty. So I'm like, what? That's crazy. But nah, it's just really just. Then they look at it now, they be like, oh, some kids starting to pop up out of Austin. Just things like me, Princely, Deuce. And then we got some younger guys that's starting to pop up too. That's from my school. So it's been crazy. So
that's something that dates back to when my days in high school, you know, we had some talent come out of Austin, but we were just slept on, criticized too collectively. Not there were some really talented individuals, but no one really outside of a few from old Reagan that when they were a beast back in the day, there were some really true talents. But other than that, it just wasn't a lot. There was this attitude. I get it. I can see if I'm from afar, I'm looking at Austin. I don't know what I'm talking. If I didn't know what I was talking about, you'd think that the people here were entitled. You know, some soft players. Oh my God! But it's so far from the truth, Tahj.
That's what maybe. Yeah, I mean, because college coaches, some coaches be coming, but now it's a lot of kids starting to get offered back in the city. So that's good. But it's just been forever. They've never been sleeping on like Austin has no talent. Like, that's just been crazy.
All we can do is laugh and prove ourselves, right? Hey, one thing I know change is, well, life's all about change constantly. But I know you have a new head coach now, and I know Coach Wells was the guy. Coach Wells recruited you, right?
Correct.
Okay. Like the guy, but things just aren't a good fit someplace. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
But this guy, so Joey McGuire, I remember him when he was the head coach of Cedar Hill, the Longhorns, and won back-to-back state championships.
Yeah, he won.
Was that right?
Yeah, he won 3 or 2.
Okay. So everybody talks about his energy. How would you describe Joey McGuire's energy from what you've seen so far in the short period of time that he's been on campus?
His energy is like waking up in the morning, going to the store and getting 3 monsters and drinking 3 monsters. That is his energy. That's how I'm describing his energy. Like he can literally be up at like 4 a.m. loud the whole day from 4 a.m. to I feel like till he go home. When he would meet his wife, Miss Debbie, that he still be loud. Like his energy but I like it. We as a team we like that, and just saying just having the confidence and believing in your coach energy, and he's hyping us up in workouts and stuff like that. Like they're ready to come back to really coach us and just be with us again, because they ain't been with us for about a month or so. But his energy is crazy.
I love to hear it. That's what creates success in a good environment. So here's Coach Joey McGuire at Big 12 Media Days on why he loves coaching and why he loves this job at Texas Tech. This is Coach McGuire back at Big 12 Media Days in Arlington.
The players. You know, I really believe that coaching's a calling, and you have an opportunity to change lives. And so every single day, whenever my feet hit the floor, I make a choice. No matter if, sometimes my wife's upset with me that I didn't pick something up or I didn't do something at home, of course. But no matter what happens throughout the day, when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I make a choice to be fired up and excited because I get a chance to make our players the best version of themselves. And that's what we truly believe in. We are a player-centered program. It's all about them. I do think the new facilities take a big part in that also, but that's what fires me up. You know, I'm a lot like my mama. That's how she was, and learn from her. And it's a choice. We got a choice to get up every morning and be happy and excited and make a difference in people's lives.
Just exactly what you just said.
Yeah, that's him.
Did you notice? Okay, I'm not trying to criticize Coach Wells or anyone on that staff because change happens a lot in college athletics. But what was the most noticeable difference? Did you notice a big difference when he introduced himself with the team that everyone's attitude changed drastically?
For sure. I feel like everything was coming from a business perspective and stuff like we got to tighten up and get this thing get this thing going. Because Tech been underrated for years, and now since we won the bowl game, we got to start turning up and just making that peer happen to other Big 12 schools and then to everybody in the country, just making it known. Like we're something to handle with. We're not no pushover guys, such things as that. So,
well, that's one thing that Tech to me has a reputation of, pretty hard-nosed, blue-collar type of team that comes at you. One thing that I had to ask about him, I love this movement of Texas high school coaches. You got Jeff Traylor, UTSA. You've had some others. Do you think this is going to be a trend, just from your perspective, that it is beneficial for a lot of these college football programs to have a Texas high school former coach who was successful because of their connections?
Yeah, just really based off being when you're a Texas high school coach, Texas high school kids, and the upcoming coaches and those other coaches, and it's just a big platform of coaches that and then you can not convince that kid, but you can be like, Coach McGuire is gonna take care of you. He knows well, he knows good, he has good energy. He's gonna take care of you if you go to Texas Tech, such things as that. And then really the whole staff, except maybe like 2-3 are Texas high school coaches. Like my position coach, Kenny Perry, he's a Texas high school coach.
Wow.
And then McGuire is, and then we have some more. I think we have some more Texas high school coaches on our staff. But it's been, So.
No, that's impressive, because I think it's just imperative for recruiting. You got to. Let's be honest. I was never even remotely close to being as talented as you. But when you're going through that recruiting process, you want somebody you can relate to, right? Is that a big difference?
Yeah, that is just really just coming off building a relationship and then just knowing that person or knowing that kid or such things like that. Because my coach is in the NFL now. He's an NFL running backs coach now. So really just I built that relationship based off since my junior year of high school. And then Coach Kenny Perry came in, he talked to us, and I got to know him for this whole spring, and then he's been a great coach, great role model for me. So such things as that. So that's really about really just knowing your coaches and building a relationship.
No, that's impressive. And I love hearing that, because you deserve to be in a situation like that. Now, one area that I think is misconstrued quite a bit, that, a lot of people don't, it's, how information, the day of news and information changes daily. And I don't think everyone has a true understanding of that. I like how can I say this? When there's a marketable brand that say, like, for example, Tahj Brooks, we're going to create a brand. You and I are talking in marketing terms or whatnot. I want to create a brand, hypothetically, for you that will last with you your entire life, that you can profit off of, and that you would want to represent.
Mm-hmm.
Which is better for those who don't understand name, image, likeness, which is a great thing, by the way. It's long overdue, in my opinion. Which is better for you as a student athlete? A marketable brand, which you have residuals coming in that you market, represent, or one lump sum payment for signing a piece? I don't even know if that's just what the perception is. Am I on track?
Yeah, you're hitting the right points.
Because
I'll say I'll go into just I can go to both. So a marketable brand, you can do anything with that, just based off your own brand and your own individual.
Right.
As you create your brand and just talking to other people and just communicate. The other decision I would say, just really, if you sign, you might want to look into what you're signing and then read over it, and then really just if you have somebody like some athletes, they might have marketing NIL agents or people that look over their NIL stuff with them and such things as that. Like I have one. He's a great dude. We talk like almost every day, just thinking of new ideas, coming up with things in Lubbock that I can really just start doing as just an NIL thing, like NIL thing.
Yeah. I do the same thing at least once a week. I put the L in the middle. I don't know why.
But really I would just say just communicating and just talking to people and just getting out there to other areas and things that you're in or things that you like, such things as that. So,
no, I think that's Tahj, I think what you just said is really beneficial, not only for the general public, but let's be honest, there are a lot of people who don't have the best interest of young people, of profitability. That's what I mean in this game. So what you just said is going to, I think, some valuable information for those young. Don't just get involved if someone throws or mentions money.
Yeah.
Because I think this is kind of what Nick Saban mentioned right here, and I'll play this. He was asked about exactly what you just talked about at SEC Media Days.
It all creates opportunities for players. That's a good thing. I think when it's used in recruiting and players start making choices and decisions based on promises that are made in name, image, and likeness, I'm not sure that is a good thing. So I do think there needs to be some guidelines, in that. And I think there needs to be transparency and, how all that's done. And I do think there needs to be some protection for players when it comes to people who represent them and third parties who are involved, people who get between, the money and the player.
So that pretty much, he was saying pretty much what you were saying right there. You got to be cautious.
Yeah, like we have like at Tech here, like Tech athletes, we have things called Compass NIL likeness. It's like an app that we use to disclosure forms, such things as people that want to represent you, all your NIL deals that you do, and such things as that. You just put them. You have to send it back. You have to send a contract to the app so it can like protect you from whatever. So, and that's run through our little Tech media.
No, so, that's really cool. I mean, things are moving quickly, and I think. Well, do you see NIL changing as far as right now? It's anything, not anything goes, but I think right now is a broad area. But do you see it as a student athlete changing daily? Like the gray area is getting smaller.
I see it changing like over, like now, like every day, because high schoolers can start getting like name, images, likeness deals, and such things as that, like coming out of high school, and then just once they get to college, alumni donors are gonna want to invest in them if they have the right platforms and such things as that. So I think it's changing all over time. So probably the next year probably change more, and then the next year probably change more, and just keep building. So I think it's gonna keep changing over college football and then over the nation.
I'm with you on that, Tahj, because I think it's a matter of time before UIL athletes can profit off their name, image, and likeness.
Because I think they released 9 in Texas, but I think they did it in Cali. They released it saying like high schoolers start involving in name, image, and likeness deals and such things as that. So I feel like it's gonna get crazy once Texas do it.
All right, man. So, since the pandemic lockdown, you've heard the word pivoting, evolving, whatnot. Everybody has in business. Well, Manscaped.com has done a phenomenal job. I mean, have you seen their promotions, everything?
I've seen stuff online from them and stuff like that.
It's in your face.
Yeah.
It's in and they do a great job with their marketing strategy. In our short time of being sponsored, our partnership with Manscaped.com, and I'm talking about in 6 months, they have sent 5 different combinations, which are available to people like yourself and the general public. This is the latest one, and I feel like a kindergarten teacher. I'm doing show and tell for you, Tahj. The Ultra Smooth package is for shaving care down there. See, and they tow the gray area, and I love it. You got to have humor in this day and age. But they even give you a tutorial how it works. Get in the shower. You got to scrub it. Lube it up. Showtime. This right here, the gentle exfoliant for the growing area. That's step 1. Then you got the clear growing shaving gel. And this is their trademark. They said size doesn't matter with the small razor. Go to work. And what I like to say is because our significant other I'm sure, would prefer us not to resemble the German Black Forest below the belt.
Yeah.
Trim those hedges. So here we go. Do you think Red Raider Nation would appreciate you think we ought to promote that to them and see how many Red Raiders can order that particular package?
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of alumni donors are gonna involved in that. I feel like some grown men are gonna involve in that, just taking care of themselves. Stuff and things like that. So I think they'll love it.
I want everyone to use this promo code right here, ManCave20, and I would love to see Red Raider Nation not only show the support for Tahj this fall and as forever in eternity, but if you're interested, use this promo code 20% off of your order, man, and get the ultra smooth package, man. You got to be smooth, you got to feel clean. That'll take care of it. Tahj, I took it easy on you on that one. Hey, my favorite part, perhaps, of the show is the Man Cave story, sponsored by our guy Jim Saxton, State Farm Insurance Agency.
Okay. So this is one I had me and my buddy, his name Edward. He stayed down the street from me, and when I was like 8 years old, we had like this little thing by our house. It was called the Woods.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "You better not go in the woods ever. If I catch you in the woods, it's gonna be yo, you know what." And then so me and Edward, I walked to his house. I asked my mom, "Can I go to Edward's house?" She's like, "Yeah." And we came out. This was about 8 years old by the time all the kids were like, "Look, I want to go outside and go play." So then we walk past. We riding our bikes around the neighborhood. We go past the woods. He was like, "You ain't trying to go to the woods." And then I looked like where the woods and my house was. It was like, said like you been like a minute, like you been like 10 steps, so you'd be right there. And then I look in my driveway, nobody home, or my uncle was home or something. And then I was like, okay, my mom's at home, so I was like, I was like, we can go. So we go in the woods. The woods is like kind of they formed like a little trail, and it was going to like where Springdale HEB was.
Yeah.
And then where like all the like where the homeless people and stuff is. So we in the woods, we deep in the woods. We walked to Springdale HEB, and then we walked back. While I was walking back, my mom, I see her Infinity car slow up. But I'm thinking it's somebody else's car because somebody had like the same car as my mom. And then I see like the little T thing on the back of her car. I was like, oh, snap. So when I got out walking in the woods, she turned and then she rolled down the window. And then I literally dropped my bike and I ran home. Me and my friend ran to my house. And then I literally got in my bed, and then she on this, and she pulled in the driveway, got out the car. She was mad, started yelling, "I told you not to go over there." So it was funny at that time.
That's hilarious.
The
woods, the legend of the woods. Man, and so you ever go back by that area and you smile and you think, man, I had a pretty good childhood.
Oh, definitely. I go back there like almost all the time because both of my grannies stay over there. So it's good. And it's growing. And it's growing fast.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like it's stuff getting built over there every time. Even when I go home to Manor. I'm like, Manor's growing. Manor ain't. There's new houses everywhere, new apartments.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Man, it is. You know what? Elgin's neck is starting to feel it.
Elgin's gonna start growing. I feel like Elgin and Manor they're gonna either like there's gonna be houses like this gonna be really like right. You're gonna be on the Elgin or you're gonna be on the Manor side.
Yeah.
How big it's gonna be.
We're gonna take a quick break just to pay tribute to some of our sponsors, and then when we come back, I definitely we got to have. Speaking of Texas Tech, former Texas Tech coach Mike Leach, he's always saying something that it's absolutely hilarious. You know, he was at Mississippi State. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommend.
This is JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers, and segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave is next.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Tahj, the closer. I'm going to let go. I'm going to quit being biased. That was against my Lumberjacks last year. That was that close game that Tahj was talking about, and he had to step up. He did. Great play call, great vision.
Great vision.
Man.
Great execution.
For the entire team.
From everybody.
Well, Stephen F., I mean.
Nah, they were a good hard team.
Were they? Okay.
They were a good coach with a hard team. Like I feel like they had some guys that can play Power 5 ball.
Wow.
And that's even that I was surprised. They had big D linemen, and then their linebacker core it was pretty tough. The DBs were okay, but their linebacker core is pretty tough. Like one of the DBs, I know he goes to LA Tech now. I used to play against him my first 2 years of high school.
Yeah.
Because he went to Hendrickson.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, I saw they had a couple of coaches, 2 or 3, go to Louisiana Tech. Mm-hmm. And, the transfer portal was utilized to their advantage. Yeah. But, yeah, do you like this title, Tahj, the closer? Like, all right, we got to close this game out.
I love it. We got to put Tahj in a winning situation to close the game out. And I'm up for it. I'm up to it.
So you're not an overly tall guy, but you're not small by any stretch of the imagination. You're a big, bruising, physical back. What do you do to keep this stamina? Because what was that, a 70-yard run late in the game that we just saw?
About 74, 75.
Yeah, and you had 2 or 3 against Stephen F. Austin.
I had 2.
2, okay.
I could have had 3, but I slipped and fell. It was like I could have spent up out of the tackle, and then I could have got ghost, and I was mad because I tripped.
The absolute worst. We're listening to Tahj Brooks. This is segment 2, and it's brought to us by FarmhouseDelivery.com. What they do, Tahj, you probably heard of them. It's Texas organic produce, organic meats. They have all these meal kits. About once a month, I'll have them delivered to my place. And because, produce, everything's expensive nowadays. Everything. It's unreal.
From milk to food to meat.
Pretty soon, bottled water. I need an NIL deal, Tahj. We talked about Tahj as the guy, the player he is. He is just a stout, strong, fast, durable running back that, hey, I have a feeling if he has a injury-free year, you're going to see this guy mentioned for national awards. He's easily top 3 in the Big 12. But what's your take on where you guys stand as a team, Texas Tech this year? Do you feel like you love how people pick you low? That's okay. It doesn't really matter preseason.
As a team, I feel like we just working. We're just working in silence right now. They gonna feel our presence in the season when people come to love it when we gotta go play people. So I just feel like we're silent right now because we don't really care about all those preseason awards as a team concept. Just thinking we're just working and just getting better with our brothers and such things as that. And then for my perspective, staying healthy. That's one main goal for me is to stay healthy. Because last year I had a stress fracture and such things as that. That was bad. I missed 4 games in Big 12. You can't miss 4 big games like that. So you really just stay healthy. And I wish I worked on it. What I worked on this spring is just stay healthy and just keep my feet up under me and just having the best spring, getting better with the guys and such things. That our goal is to be Big 12 champion, Big 12 championship.
I love it. Why not?
That's the goal. Like that's everybody from the coaches to the last player on our roster. That's everybody goes to go to the Big 12 championship. Because a bowl game, we love bowl games. Don't get it wrong. I would love a bowl game, but I want to try to go Big 12. You go Big 12 championship, you got a chance to go to the national championship. So
right,
it's just one thing, just one step at a time.
So one of the former Tech coaches, Mike Leach, when you were young, you remember him coming up as a head coach.
Yeah, I remember.
What do you remember about Coach Leach?
I don't remember nothing about Coach Leach, but I know that it's been a lot of coaches that's been on his staff that has been branched off. Even I was like, when the first time I got here, they said David Aranda was here, Lincoln Riley was here, Coach Sonny Cumbie was here, Zach Kelly was here. Who else? The Houston head coach Dana Holgerson. Yeah. Here. It's been a lot of coaches that I was actually blown. I was like, they came through that coached here at Tech or helped here at Tech. They was like, yeah,
it's crazy.
They started their coaching here. I was like, at Tech? They was like, yeah, at Tech. I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because once you go and play them, you be like, you really was here first, but I don't really be caring. Just be like, you started your coaching career at Tech. Or your development of your coaching here at Tech and be branched off. That's crazy how the world works.
His coaching tree is pretty impressive. It's funny, Ty. So I was in Oklahoma City and I covered both back in the media days, Oklahoma, OU, and OSU. During that time, I had totally forgotten that when Stoops was there, Leach was on one of his first staffs at OU. Holgerson was at OSU for 2 years, or either a year or two for Gundy. And then and then Lincoln Riley, of course. It's just unreal. So you made a good point. So as much as I do how Leach is a character. He's actually well educated on a lot of things, but he delivers the best interviews. This is him at FCC Media Days. Someone asked him some type of question about Brian Kelly, the new head coach, used to be at Notre Dame. He's now at LSU. And then in his own Leach way, this is what he had to say.
I've known Brian for years. I didn't realize he is as good a dancer as he is, but I'm excited to see that. And heck, you think you know a guy, right? And then,
it's always
even with I heard, because we heard after we won our bowl game, we heard his interview, and it was just silent, and it was more stuff like that. I guess that's just how he talks.
Yeah, he's funny. But I think you're going to have a guy, Joey McGuire. He is going to. People will run his sound bites because I think there's no one that's going to match that energy ever. I can't wait our first game. Like, even our spring game, he was fired up, but it's a spring game, so it's more just like we getting better, we getting each other better. But our first game, I just can't wait to. He might not even. I feel like he's not even gonna go to sleep. He's gonna have so much energy. He's just gonna be, he gonna pull an all nighter and just get and be ready to coach. Drink him 2 monsters, and then he'll be ready. Before we get to the fun questions, in a few words, how would you describe what's going on right now with all this conference realignment as a player?
I would say this conference realignment is getting more competitive. It's getting fun. It's getting exciting. Even when Texas and OU leave, it's still like it's like, oh, Texas OU leave, it's not gonna be. Nah, it's still gonna be fun. It's still gonna be competition because there's a lot of good teams. Like Cincinnati just had a good run this past year. UCF, that's a shout out to my boy Brian O'Keefe. They doing things over there that's gonna start blowing the AA conference up. So it's gonna get hard. It's gonna have some talent, a lot of talent in this conference. And then BYU is another school, another big school that I seen Baylor play last year. They were a good school, just such things. So it's gonna be a lot of competition. I'm ready for it. I'm happy.
So who do you would you think that you guys and Oklahoma State have a great opportunity to become the big dog, so to speak, of this conference?
Yes, I think so. Just being in this league and just understanding what it takes to win games as from other schools, because Tech has never we've been in more close games than I feel like everybody in the conference. Like we'll start off good, other team come back, and then we're in a battle fight fourth quarter, and it always going down to the last wire since I've been here. So it's been close games. And there's been some games we've been able to finish those close games, and there's been some games we just let it slip through from one play. So
yeah, that's tough. But you know what? That's called progression of learning, and adapting. This is a fun part. It's right before This is I want to pull up something that some people who are near and dear to you. I call it the Tahj collage. Right here. It's a special people in your life. So we call it quick draw questions. And my first one, I want to go down the list of pictures from the far right, and you briefly describe who and what these people mean to you. To your far right, it looks like, is that little brother and sister?
I'll say, yeah, that's my little brother and sister, but they're my little cousins.
Yeah.
I call them my brother and sister. But her name is Sydney's on the right. She's a soccer guru. She's my little girl. I love her to death. We're like brother and sister fighting ways and stuff like that. And then my little brother on the left, his name's Aiden. He's basically I'm trying to be his big role model. He loves football. He loves baseball. Such things as that. I love him too.
Let's go, Aiden.
Yeah, those are my little two little gurus that I love. So, and then I love their mom too. Her name is Shay. She's my Amy. She's not Amy, but that's what
I love all these photos, but the next one, taken in Lubbock, in the red jerseys at Tech. How special is that photo to you?
Super special. Even because it's my grandfather, it's my mom's dad, Seth Fowler. I love him. He's a great guy to be around. He teaches us the rights and wrongs. He taught me from little age to be responsible, know how to become a man, such things as that, how to make your own money, how to invest in your money, how to save your money, such things growing up, and then really just having fun. He taught us things that we can do outside of football. You're just not a football player in his eyes. He always says, "You're becoming a man, Tahj. You're becoming a man. So just know what you have to do."
Man, that's true leadership, but some sage advice and life lessons. I love it, and that's carrying with you the rest of your life. Is this mom and dad right here? Then second to last? Yeah, the OGs.
The OGs. So we got Tiffany Brooks and Kevin Brooks. My mom, she's my angel. She's my rock. She's my everything. Love her to death. We have so many memories together. And then my dad, I'll say he's my football coach, my father, my biggest hater, biggest everything. But I love him too. He taught me the ropes and taught me the game of football, ins and outs, and such things as that nature.
And this last one, this may be my favorite picture. Is that a wedding?
No, I won't say it's a wedding. It was a funeral for my cousin that passed away this past year. R.I.P. to Juicy. He was my rock. He was everything to me. And then in the picture, it was my dad, my two uncles, and then me. So my two uncles' name is Jamal Brooks. He played at LBJ from, I think it was like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. And then my Corey Brooks, he went to LBJ High School too, also. And then those are my two biggest haters, I say. Even though they teach me the game, the football, and the ropes, things like such thing as film study.
Yeah.
When I was little, when I played Little League ball, we had camera. My mom used to record my games, And I used to, after the game, they used to come to the house because we all used to live with each other. And we used to sit down and just watch film for hours. And at this time, I was playing on both sides of the ball. I wasn't just playing running back. And they were my coaches. So all three of them were my coaches. Jamal was my linebackers coach. Corey was like the offensive coordinator type, but he was involved in too. And then my dad was just the helper coach around, just things I should do better, just looking at it. And then when I grew to high school ball, they just recorded my games and just showed me things that you could have did better at, or gave me advice of watching this study or watching this film, watching these teams. Because in high school, I watched a lot of film, so it was just, they just gave me the moment. Such things that.
This is the fun part of these podcasts. You really get to know people like yourself on a more family level and really where people came from. And it's kind of inspiring because it sounds like you had and still have. These are the backbones of your life and significant true leaders that made you become the leader you are.
Yes, sir. Every time I go home, I'm going to see them. And I got to see
immediately.
That's one thing. I probably go to my parents' house and we just sitting talking about school, how's everything going, how's football, such things as that. That's really about it.
Let me ask you this. So my lady, I called her G-Ma. That was my grandma from the Clint side. Is your grandma the same way? Her breakfast is just nobody can touch it. Nobody can cook it the way she does.
Yes. Both of my grannies, I say. I can go to like one time we had both of my grannies cooked, and it was probably the best breakfast I've ever had from that standpoint. Even I'm still in school, still one of the best breakfasts I ever had. I go to restaurants, it's still on the topic because it's too good. Like that's the only when I go home, I eat good. I eat good. But I work out.
I know you do.
I work out, so it's both. So I'll eat good, and then I try to eat. So when I go home, I try to just not have as many snacks, just to stay lean and such things as that. But I eat my breakfast, my lunches, and my dinner. And then if I have snacks, it'd be more like smoothies and stuff like that. It wouldn't be like bad foods. So
that's way cherish those moments in the I call it G-Ma's breakfast buffet. That's what I call it.
Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
Hey Ben, tell me something good.
Yeah, my brother, tell me something good. Brought to you by Hutch, Realty Austin, San Antonio. Shopping for a home is hard because it's a seller's market. Everything's so expensive, and you just need a good guy that's connected, and that's your guy. So after college, when you get into starting your own business or after football, however long that lasts, it may last another decade or two. We need to connect you with Hutch, but I'm sure there are at least, I bet between the both of us, we probably know 500 real estate agents.
Like I have some kids in my grade, they already got their real estate license and stuff like that. So they already started selling homes and stuff like that, even coming out of high school.
Brilliant. That's smart. That's really smart. That's the opportunity that kids these days have. You got to weigh that option. Whether you're going to go to school, if you don't want to pay for it, you shouldn't have to. But if you are taking a loan out, you can think about doing things like real estate license. So when this podcast started, it was just audio, and it was when the lockdown of the COVID era, and we noticed, and you noticed, I'm sure, all the negativity. All right. So our premise was we need to deliver positivity. Mm-hmm. So tell me something good. We save it the best. We'll save the positivity for last. Tahj Brooks, Manor Mustang for life, Texas Tech Red Raider running back. Tell me something good, my brother, from something you have seen in life or a trend you started to notice going on around you that a lot of people may not be noticing.
Trend is I'm really happy for kids back home. You know what I'm saying? Really just some examples is Quentin Joyner. He's going to USC. He's going to get his explosive career started next year. Princely, Mommy Eller's little brother.
Yeah.
He racked up a bunch of schools, and I'm surprised where he goes, but I feel like wherever he's going, he's gonna find just play as much as his brother does just right now. And then really some other kids we got my little cousin, his name DJ Shaw. He's up and coming in the little recruiting process, but for wherever he goes, he's gonna strive and do great at. So I'm really just thinking for the people from back home and just being happy and just being in the community. And then also just shout out to all the athletes that comes from that area that's balling right now. So for myself, Deuce, Princely, Ryan O'Keefe, Colin Sullivan, Jaden York, we got a bunch of athletes that's all around the nation from Austin. So that's all my things I got to say good as.
Tahj, you said it well. Man, you're well spoken all the time. You represent yourself well, represent your family well, Manor, Central Texas, the ATX. Man, you're a crown jewel of the ATX area, and I love the positivity. And I'll add this to what you said on just a quick tell me something good. I think a lot of people, it's where we are. People jump on social media. Man, quit allowing politics to determine what mood you're in, what direction you're taking each day. Man, I woke up today ready to take on the world for work and to see my guy Tahj, even on this virtual website. So for this podcast, but get out of the house. And if you notice football season, even for non-sports fans, you got to notice and feel there's a different energy, even though it's 108 degrees.
Especially when you're down here.
Yeah.
When football's getting closed down here in Lubbock, everybody's getting their tailgate sections ready. They're getting their like it's getting crazy. Like it gets crazy. Like I feel like our first night game is gonna be crazy. I feel like Jones is probably gonna be one of the deepest stadiums ever. Our first game, so it's gonna be crazy, and it's a night game, so it's gonna be tailgating. Probably gonna start at 7:30, and then cooking food, barbecue, some bars and stuff might be open around before the game, and then fans walking up to the game, walking up to the gates. We warming up out for pregame, shaking everybody's hand, shaking the stadium, shaking the fans' hand, such things as that. So I feel like it's gonna be a great turnout, great environment to be in.
Hey, if everybody, all you critics who talk smack about places like Lubbock, but you've never been there, man, don't listen. I kind of did the same, but I was a lot younger. But when I went to Lubbock and went to experience the game day atmosphere, mine's changed. It's a great place for college football. It's a great place.
It's a great, and it's crazy too.
And there's good food.
And it's great food.
Salt of the earth people. Hey, real quick before we put a wrap on it, where is your favorite restaurant in Lubbock, food that nobody talks about that people need to know about?
People need to. I got a lot. It's a lot.
Let's do three. Let's do three.
I got Table 82, Abuelos, and Jalisco's.
What's the last one? What was it called?
Jalisco's.
Oh, okay.
Jalisco's. Yeah, those are.
Table 82. What type of food do they serve?
They sell. I think it's seafood and. Like. Oh, and I got one more. I think seafood and. Yeah, I think it's just seafood. And then just street food.
Yeah. And
then the last one is called Lee's Cafe.
Yeah.
It's over there by. It's on Milwaukee.
Okay.
Those are some places.
Man, next time up there, I am going to check out Table 82. So, yeah, you follow. That could be a segment for you all. You can create Tahj's fine dining or dining recommendations.
Yeah.
Something like that. We can come up with some better name than that.
Okay.
Oh man. So what do you want to tell Red Raider Nation? What do you guys do? You got to get what do you guys do up there?
First, I want to say wreck 'em, and then the second thing I want to say is it's the best in the desert. So they better get ready. It's the best in the desert. Like how everything on Twitter, with the little cactus. Yeah, it's getting like that in Lovely. So better stir it up because it's gonna get heated. It's gonna be heated next season. It's gonna be heated.
I love it, my brother Tahj Brooks. I was gonna ask you what the cactus. I saw that.
Yeah, it was more of it's like some like stuff between us and the other school. I don't want to say their name, but just stuff that system. And just they think they don't want to sell to our fans, and our fans will go anywhere. So that's one thing about Red Raider Nation. They'll come wherever we gotta go. We gotta go to Oklahoma. They're gonna be there. We gotta go to Oklahoma State. They're gonna be there. They're gonna be.
They travel, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna travel.
They took over the Irwin Center in basketball here in Austin.
See, they're gonna travel. They got a car and plane tickets. They're gonna get there. They're gonna get.
Hey, you don't have to mention it, but I will. What is wrong with you, TCU fans? What's going on with that? Tahj can't speak on it, but I can. Well, it's highly recommended. I'll be his spokesman on that situation. Go look up TCU Texas Tech tickets. Just Google that. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. Tahj, man, I appreciate you. Best of luck. We'll be back in touch. We'll stay in touch. But, man, I cannot wait to see what you do this season. Wishing you nothing but good health, prosperous season, and we'll be really pulling for Joey's Red Raiders.
All right. Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely.
You coming on Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast.
Yeah. Hey, we'll do it again. Absolutely. Yeah. And tell your family hello. And shout out to Manor WAMM Nation. That's if you've not been to Manor, I think the time's now. That place is exploding. And this guy is one of the faces of Manor Mustang Nation. So for the now Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, VIP alumni, and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Hards, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Up in my car in the giddy up.